All right, Jude, I guess first question, Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD, what do we need to know about it?
So Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD is going to be sort of the best levels of Pro Skater 1 and 2, rezzed up for HD with online multiplayer. We did a ton of research when building this game. All the fans out there that were basically commenting on what levels they'd want to see in Pro Skater. We try to take all their information from the websites and sort of combine it and do it like a best of game.
You can talk us through what levels we're actually going to see?
Absolutely. By now, right? So we have Warehouse, we have School 2, we have Mall in New York, we have Hangar, Venice, Phoenix Downhill Jam, and Marseille.
Yeah. Cool. And when you're approaching this, obviously you're talking about fan feedback, about what fans wanted to see. You've went into the original levels. What have you actually done to update them to the XD?
That's a good question. So as far as HD everything out, we have new art in the game. We have new skaters that will be skating in the levels. Riley Hawk, for example, Tony Hawk's son, is in the game. We have new objectives that have never been in any Pro Skater game before. So there's about 1 or 2 per each level, which is really cool because you've never been able to skate the warehouse and collect the manifest, for example, that you'll see in our demo. We have. Besides the levels themselves, we also have some new game modes, too, that we can talk about at a later date. But there's a couple new game modes in there that'll be really, really fun for fans that they really haven't been able to experience before.
Because it must be interesting, obviously enough, Tony Hawk's such a long-running series now, to sort of return to the original, to return to the thing that started the whole franchise off. How do you want to sort of like maybe include things that have appeared in the Tony Hawk series at a later date and bring them into the original game? Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that occurred at later dates that we have in the game. For example, well, at least not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. We have the online multiplayer, which is great. We have some moves and some characters that appeared at the later date that we brought back into 1. But at its core, it really is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. But yes, there's definitely some content that appeared later that we'll be able to release at a later date, and hopefully people will be like, wow, I'm glad that's in there.
Oh, is that you're saying that there will be DLC after the normal release?
Oh, well, no. So I'm not necessarily saying that at this point. What I was saying was that we'll release the content to the public later at a later date. So maybe look for the next month or two. We're going to be releasing a lot of information to the public. It's just we're at that point of our development cycle, to where we're just finalizing everything. So.
Okay. Well, talk us through the development cycle at the moment. Where are you guys at? What have you got left to do before you finish it?
Okay, so right now we're around alpha, and we have all the gameplay mechanics in. We have all the geo from all the levels, most of the art in and stuff. We still have some. We're going to spend the next couple months basically just polishing the game, refining the controls. We really think are basically awesome at this point. They feel really, really good, but we're going to take time just to make sure that, that's right. We'll user test it, and we're basically just going to be in polish mode for the next couple months to bring the best possible experience we can for the fans.
And are you guys thinking long term now? I mean, is this the direction the Tony Hawk franchise is going in, the download digital rather than retail?
That's a very good question. That's sort of in front and center of our minds. We're thinking about it. Hopefully this game does really well and takes off, and we can, bring more digital content to fans and keep giving them what they want and what they ask for. I mean, that's the really cool thing about this project, and I mentioned it earlier, is it's very fan-driven. So we're really, all the fans that, comment on Facebook or comment when we release trailers or we do leaks, it's great to get their input. We actually are listening to that. We're basing our game off of what fans are asking for.
But then there must be a double-edged sword, though, where there's things that you guys want to include, or perhaps when you have fan feedback, there's certain things you guys maybe go, okay, maybe that won't work, or we'd rather see this. Where do you draw that line between fan feedback and what you guys know is right for the game?
Right. It's mostly law of averages. So we'll collect a huge pool of feedback, right, and then we'll do, for example, the levels. There's lots of other levels that people have asked for, but the main 7 levels that we have in the game consists of the highest averages of people asking for. Same with sort of moves and characters. We'll discuss soundtrack at a later date. But yeah, I mean, we're really out there listening, and there's some stuff that may not get in this game. It may not get in for a strategic reason. It just may not get in general that we'll be, hopefully releasing in the future. So fans, please keep giving us your feedback because we're totally listening.
And you sort of mentioned you can't talk about the soundtrack. Can you talk about the skaters that will be appearing in the game? Because I noticed we were talking there while we were playing about Tony Hawk. It's Tony Hawk how it looks now rather than how Tony Hawk looked like when the game originally came out.
Yeah, well, the cool thing is we actually, I think they announced it in Game Informer a couple months ago when we did a Game Informer interview, but we do have a Tony Hawk pixelated version from the old Pro Skater game. So you have the new Tony Hawk rezzed up, arted out HD skater, and then you have the old school that you can play as a secret character in the game. Yeah.
And just to sort of wrap up, is there anything else we need to know you feel like we haven't actually touched upon during the course of this interview?
No, I think at this time we basically got it covered. The main thing would be to stay tuned, and we're going to have a really solid social media and sort of press layout as far as releasing what content is in the game for the next couple months up till release.
And can you give us a sort of rough idea when the release date is?
Yeah, so the release is going to be mid to end summer.